Hey, how's it going everybody? It's me, Scott from One Last Hand, and we are playing some Detective City of Angels. This is a game that I've had for a very long time. I played one session with my friends. It didn't go very well, and then it never returned to the table. However, it's got a solo mode, and being that the channel mainly focuses on solo content, it feels like the perfect time to do it. I have done case 1 as a tutorial. That case is called Blood on the Pier, and we did that on Patreon, sort of teach ourselves how to play it. So if you want to go and check that out, it's on Patreon right now. But I think the next case that we're about to do, which is case 2, is called Murder at Sunset Boulevard. I think that's right. Let's just double check that. Yeah, I think case 2 is Murder at Sunset Boulevard. It doesn't actually say the case number on here, does it? Oh yeah, DCOA 02. So we're going to be doing Murder at Sunset Boulevard. These have got all of the things in you need from the case. However, I've kept Blood on the Pier out just because I think there may be some follow through of this case into this case. So I wanted to do a quick summary if you're not a Patreon member. If you're not and you want to support the channel, go and check it out in the description below. It really does help with everything on the channel. But I just want to introduce you to Charlie Muggs. Charlie Muggs is the leader of a fairly low-level kind of mobster group that includes Dee DiCaprio and Dumb DiCaprio. Now, they were selling drugs down by the pier when Sally Foote, the victim in this instance, came up and tried to rob Dee DiCaprio. Dee didn't have any product on him. Charlie Muggs turned up and shot Sally Foote in the back. He then hightailed it out of there and left Dee and Dumb to clear up the mess. Turns out that Charlie Muggs was the shooter. We eventually got to the right situation. His Colt M911 was given to Dumb, so there was a little bit of confusion as to who had it. But that is the synopsis really of Blood on the Pier. Spoilers, obviously, if you're planning on playing that game. I will put a big spoiler warning at the start of this so you know. So that is that. We'll have a quick talk through how to play, but we won't go into a huge amount of detail. I'm still learning some bits and pieces. But the way this game works is we have this giant board, and as you can see, it's huge. With this, we've got a day track down the right-hand side. As we continue down the days, we're eventually going to get to the final guess spot, which is when we have to trigger it. We could potentially be moving this final guess up, depending on how good or bad we do with certain things. I'll explain that in a bit. We then have along the top, this section of card tracks. So as we uncover evidence, victims, suspects, we're going to put their cards along this top, and then we can go and question those people. The way the questioning works, if we jump over to this side of the board, we'll see a couple of things. We have, let's just move this out of the way, we have our Murder at Sunset board and our detective board. Let me just move my drink. So over here we have our detective board. We've got 4 action cubes that we can take each day, and we can do things like move, we can do things like question people, we can search locations, we can search suspects. But we're only going to be able to do 4 actions a day. When we do one of these things, we're going to refer to this board. So let's say we were questioning, I don't know, Jack Dragner. We'd go to 142, C142. And that means we would have to go and look in the book here and find C142 in this book of paragraphs. And in each one, you're going to have the opportunity to challenge it. So if someone says something to you and you don't think they're telling the truth, you can challenge it. If you win, you get a leverage. And that's what this little tiny hat is. You put that underneath their card, and it just means the next time you ask them a question, if you want to, before you ask the question, you can spend your leverage, and that means you'll automatically challenge. Now, if you challenge and you get it wrong, you have to switch over one of your stress tokens to being stressed. When you flip all 3 of these over, you reset them and you move the final guess token up 1 space. So you could reduce the number of days you've got to do your investigation by failing to challenge people. On the back side of this card, you've got all of the search paragraphs. So if we're searching Jack, we'd go to 947. If we're searching location 925, or let's use 74 because you can see it on the board, location 74, we would go to 460. So obviously as we go through things, we're going to be searching, we're going to be questioning, and we're going to be trying to solve the case. What we do is on this board here, on this page, we'll have murder at Sunset Boulevard, and then as we uncover suspects, we're going to write their name, or victims, we're going to write their name along here, and then as we get suspects, we're going to write their names down here, and then we're going to just make some notes to say, he shot her in the face, or whatever the situation is, and then we've got our final guess here. Let's just talk about the final guess so you know what it looks like. On the back side of this book, we have the names of the suspects. We have the weapon number, so if the weapon is in space G, we know the weapon is 130, and then we have the motive. We're going to add the number of let's say it was Charlie Muggs, 81 is that? 21, sorry, plus 130 plus 25, then it will give us a paragraph we turn to. If that paragraph says the captain calls you into his office, we've done it. If it says something else, we haven't done it and we're in trouble. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much everything you need to know. We've got this detective casebook, which does have the information in here that we're going to need to set up an epilogue, a prologue about all of the info. But we also have this on the app, which we're going to play. I don't know how well that will transfer to the audio. Reason being is it's made by a really high production quality, but the background noises are a little bit loud, so I'll have to listen to it. If it doesn't sound great, I'll have to re-record it with me speaking. But we are going to go on to case number 2, Murder at Sunset Boulevard, and listen to the briefing. So here's the app, you can see that here, and let's go.
Congratulations are in order after successfully bringing that Long Beach wise guy to justice. Your victory is only slightly tainted by the fact that Jack Dragna lawyered him up as fast as whiplash. That mafia shyster walked through the front door, spouted off some legal mumbo jumbo, and just like that, Muggs was out on bail. I'd like to know what Dragna has on Judge McPherson that he'd rubber stamp a murderer walking free like that. No matter, because karma came calling for Mr. Charlie Muggs pretty damn quick. At 11:35 p.m., beat cops responded to a routine noise complaint at a flop house off Sunset Boulevard, belonging to none other than Hollywood's most notable madam, Brenda Allen. No surprise there, given the shindig she throws on a weekly basis. But when they checked the alleyway behind her joint, guess who they should find with his insides all over the concrete? None other than Charlie Muggs. He was shot multiple times. Someone wanted to make sure he never woke up from his big sleep. A bunch of 9mm Luger shells were found sprinkled around his body like fairy dust. I don't have to tell you that the Luger isn't exactly the weapon of choice here in sunny LA. Normally, we wouldn't give two shakes about a mafia lowlife like Muggs buying the farm, as it'll save the good people of Los Angeles a burdensome legal bill. But the chief's got a hard-on for Dragna and thinks he might be involved. Muggs was Dragna's star player down in South Bay, after all. If you've got the cojones, look up old Jackie at his mansion in Leimert Park. But a word of warning. Poke your nose too far into Dragna's business, and all you're likely to find is your own severed nose. Allen's holed up in her apartment off Alvarado. If you talk to her, use kid gloves. She's Hollywood's biggest madam, and there's no telling how deep her hooks go, or more importantly, where they go. The mob, City Hall, even the LAPD. Her black book is supposedly thicker than a California redwood, so be careful you don't dig up the wrong dirt. You should also track down your old pal D. DiCaprio. See if he's got any info on what Muggs might have been doing. I'm sure his tongue will be pretty loose after Muggs tried to pin the Horseshoe Pier murder on him. Seeing as Dragna's the one who butters DiCaprio's bread, it's a guarantee that the crime boss knows where to find him, assuming he'll even talk to you. DiCaprio's also been shacking up with some dame named Angie Dusk. So if you're quaking in your boots at the thought of talking to Dragna, you can question her instead. She lives off Redondo. Well, why are you standing around like a bunch of doe-eyed flatfoots? Put your leather to the pavement and find me Muggs' killer.
Okay, so you'll notice that in here there's a lot of things that we should have been doing as they were reading, but we thought we'd wait. So let's just jump back to the overhead view. Congratulations, we need to grab our case cards, so that's all of these. I think that's all of them. Okay, don't think we need anything else out of there, so that's fine. Then we put these in the slots along the top. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, and K. Almost all of them are full. Who'd have thought on our second case it would be like this? This is a gumshoe case. It just means it's easier than they would, they can be. Jack Dragna, Lloyd up was fast. Flip case B. So Jack Dragna, a shrewd businessman and a vicious criminal, looks harmless enough, but never make the mistake of underestimating him. Okay. Which was front door spat with some mumbo jumbo and like that. Muggs was out on bail. Don't know how Dragna has on Judge McPherson, but blah blah blah. 11:41, a routine complaint of the Flop House, belonging to none other than Hollywood's most notable madam, Brenda Allen. Flip case card C. So there's Brenda Allen. Poised and intelligent, it's easy to see how she built an empire of sin and protected it for years. Hollywood madam. Okay. No surprise then, given the shindigs they throw on a weekly basis. And they checked in the alleyway behind, and guess who they should find? None other than Charlie Muggs. Flip case card A. So there is the deceased Charlie Muggs. Sorry, Charlie. And so place the crime scene marker at 33. So this is the crime scene marker, and we'll place that up here at Sunset Boulevard. Okay. He shot multiple times. Someone to make sure he didn't wake up from his big sleep. A bunch of 9mm Luger shells. Just going to write that down. 9mm Luger shells found near body. Okay. Sprinkled a little fairy dust around his body by fairy dust. Flip case card G. G is Luger shells. Okay. A handful of 9mm shell casings. The word Luger can be clearly made out on them. Found at the crime scene. Okay, good. He was shot multiple times, blah, 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 case G. Normally wouldn't go give two shakes about a mafia lowlife. Muggs, like Muggs buying the farm. As we say, the good people of Los Angeles, he burns some illegal bill. However, look up Jackie at his mansion at Lima Park. Place Dragna standee at 14. Dragna thinks he might Dragna, and he thinks he might be involved. So we need Dragna's standee. So we have all of these standees from the game, and they go back in once you've pushed them out, which is quite nice. So Jackie, where were we putting? Sorry, Jack goes and is at 14 over here. Okay, so there's Jackie. Place at 14. Boy, don't want to poke your nose in too far into his business, and you'll only find his own severed nose. Alan's hold up in her apartment off Alvarado. Place at standee 40. Standee, and place it at 40. So there's, what's her first name? Brenda. She's here. Okay. If you talk to her, use kid gloves. She's Hollywood's biggest madam, and there's no telling how deep her hooks go. More importantly, where they go. Her black book is supposedly thicker than a California redwood. You should also track down your old pal D DiCaprio, flip case card D. Thankfully, they keep putting D DiCaprio in space D, otherwise could get confusing. He's stereotypical Maffiga wise guy through and through. Okay. Flip case card D and place DiCaprio standee on the card. Okay, we can do that. That's you. I bet we're going to turn over dumb in a bit. D. You can go over there. Okay. See if he's got any info on Muggs might have been doing. I'm sure his tongue will be pretty loose after Muggs tried to pin the horseshoe murders on him. Seeing as Dragner's one who butters DiCaprio's bread, it's a guarantee that the crime boss knows where to find him, assuming he'll even talk to you. DiCaprio's also been shacking up with some dame named Angela. Sorry, Angie Dusk. Flip card E. Angie Dusk. She's fresh-faced and wide-eyed, and just the kind of girl this town loves to devour. Okay. So if you're quaking your boots, you should talk to her instead of Dragner. Place her standee at 92. 92. Okay. 92 is down here. Right. Why are you still here? Get moving. Okay, I think that's everything. Now, what we do from here is we look at this book at the bottom here. So it says solving the case. Dragner's residence 14, Sunset Boulevard crime scene 33, Allen's residence 40, Dusk residence 92. On the back, I think it tells us the suspects. So we've got Jack Dragner. So I'm just going to fill in this form. I'll fill this in and I'll show you what I've done once we're back. Okay, so we're back. I have filled in this sheet just to show you. Along the top we've got the names of the things that we've uncovered with their card number. And then down the left we've got our suspects that we know so far. So Jack, Brenda, Dee and Angie. So as we go through, we're going to be writing our information that we get from each of these as we question them, search them in these boxes. There's a notes section, and then we're going to put our answers down here when we think we might be ready to solve. Couple of things I just want to talk about. This is our little character here. You can see here. You can also see all of the standees on the board here. And as we travel round, the first thing we have to do is pick a police station. So these blue spots on the map are police stations. Let's say we were here in this police station. We wanted to go and question Angie. We would have to use 1 cube to move to a border, and then 1 cube to move to anywhere in that border. So I could move from here to here, or I can move from here to here. It's still going to cost 1 cube. So obviously picking a police station to begin with is quite important. We'd really like to know where D is, but maybe starting with Angie's a wise idea. Brenda, understanding the body, searching the crime scene, all important things. The question is, where do we begin? Where do we want to start? So we really need to find out why he's dead, who did it, and where D is. They've searched the crime scene, right? They found a handful of shells. Do we want to search the crime scene? I think it makes sense. We'll start at Glendale. I'm just going to tuck these things, since there's nothing over this side of the board at the moment. We'll tuck these things over here just so I don't have to keep zooming over to it and you can see our movement and those things. Right, so our first thing is going to be to move. We're going to move to the crime scene 33. We're going to flip this over and we are going to search crime scene 33. 33 means we go to section or paragraph 277 in this book. So we're never ever going to push or intimidate crime scenes. It's always going to be the evidence that we get from a crime or a search is always going to be accurate. It's only the people that we're asking that's going to be where we use these leverage things and we challenge. Where was I going? 33, 277. Okay, before we get started, I'd love to know your your guesses in the comments and what day track you think it's going to be. There isn't anything that says I need to move the time track down, so we do have 12 days to do this, but obviously the more stress we get, this final marker token is going to go up. Can't see that it says move this down. Okay. Yeah, I'd love to know in the comments at what point your guess is and for what that guess is, and then we'll see how close you guys are as well as how badly I fumble this case. 33 is 277, a piece of trash, and the entrance to the alleyway catches your eye. You can't quite put a finger on it, but it's something, but something about it seems important. Turnover F. Okay, it's a good start. F is a torn postcard. The kind used by businesses to advertise with the word hotel can be made out on it. But any other identifying information has been lost, found at the crime scene. So F is a torn postcard. Okay. Torn postcard. Hotel. Found at 33. Okay. So, our first move and search location action are done. There's nothing more we can do here. So it feels like we want to move down and talk to whose place it was, right? So we're going to move again, and then we're going to move one more. So we've moved all of our actions, all 4 of them are done, and we reduced the day marker by 1. But we are now in the same place as Brenda Allen, the Hollywood Madam. Okay, so Brenda Allen. Let's ask Brenda about Brenda. That's always a good starting point, right? So we're going to ask Brenda about 390. Let's find out a bit about her. And let's search. Do we search the place? Let's search number 40. 1105. Okay, so we're using 1 cube to search a location. So we're going to search this place. 1105. Okay, sorry, I was just checking that I got everything right there. 1105. Okay. As soon as you touch one of Alan's drawers, she snaps. Open that and I'll give you and I'll have your job, detective. You think back to what the sergeant said during the briefing. Decide to skip searching Alan's place. Better safe than sorry. Great. So, searched. I'm just going to write what I've searched. Searched crime scene. 33. Searched 40. Alan's brothel. No luck. Okay, I couldn't get a warrant. Okay, so we know she's not going to play nicely. So let's jump back here. Brenda Allen. We're going to ask her about Brenda Allen. So we're going to ask Brenda about C, which is 390. So let's jump to that and do our search. 390. Sorry, our question. So we lose 1 time as we question. 390. I provide an important and valuable service to the affluent and influential people of the city. You would do well to remember that, detective. Confirms she's a madam. I don't think there's anything for us to question there, right? You know, we know she's a madam. She's confirming that she's a madam. We don't know any of her punters. So let's ask Brenda about Charlie. So we're going to use another one of these. 539. I bet she's going to say she can't tell us anything. 539. Client confidentiality or something, right? 539. We've moved the question. Charlie was a lousy customer and he was rough with my girls. I'm just surprised no one put a slug in his head sooner. Charlie was rough with the girls. Surprised not killed sooner. Okay, I don't think there's anything there for us to really push too heavily on either. Let's ask her about Angie Dusk in case Angie turned up at the brothel. Right? So one last question over here. For now, we're going to ask Brenda about E. Doubt she's going to know anything, but it's worth a try. 238. 238. Okay. Angie used to be one of my girls. She was especially a favourite amongst the wise guys. Look at I. Interesting. Okay, so I is a information card which says information. Angie Dusk used to be one of Brenda's top girls. So is she annoyed that Muggs took Angie out of the business? Is that the situation? So I is Angie was a prostitute. And used to work for Brenda. Charlie took her? Question mark. Okay. Do we want to push on that? I don't think so. I mean, it seems fair. Just having to think about this. Let's just reread this just in case I got anything wrong. Angie used to be one of my best girls. She was a favourite amongst the wise guys. So I could challenge. But I don't know if there's anything obvious there that seems... I mean, my only thing is she peed off? And I don't know if the challenge is just about you think this is false or if they're not. I think the challenge is that you don't think they're giving you all of the information. So let's just find the challenge thing in here. The response. The most useful response, or lies or misdirections. The detective may, after reading the response, challenge the chisel if they think the suspect response was a lie or misdirection. I mean, I don't think... I know we're not using the chisel, but I don't think that was a lie or a misdirection. She was one of the top girls there, right? Let's ask her about this hotel thing. I don't think she's going to know anything. Oh, was that all of our actions? Oh, man. Another day done. I'm going to spend a couple more questions here. Let's move all these back. Because we can ask her about I think, now. So Angie was a prostitute, so we're asking Brenda about 436. Let's see if she was peed off that Charlie took her out of the business. 436. Let's just make sure I got that right. Brenda about I, 436. I see the judgment in your eyes, detective. For what Angie and my other girls do, I hope you choke on your precious morals. No judgment here. No info. So that didn't quite go as we hoped. Let's ask her about the postcard, see if she knows anything about it. I mean, it's rubbish in the back of her thing, so she's not going to know anything about it. I haven't asked her about D. Let's ask her about D DiCaprio first. So Brenda about D is 350. 350 says... one wise guy looks the same as the other wise guy. I've never seen him before, I don't think. I'm going to challenge her. 780. So we are using our first challenge, 780. That was quite blasé. You insist that Alan take a closer look, which irritates her. I already told you I have no idea who it is. Gain 1 stress. That is not a great start. Okay, we've used 2 of our actions. So she doesn't know D. Okay. And we challenged it and got nowhere. So I could ask her about this torn postcard, but I could and probably should ask her about Jack Dragner. So 61. 61 says, Dragner's been trying to horn in my business for years. When I let Angie go, he was more than happy to snap her up for his little flop house in Frostenoia, 32. Okay. Jack's flop house, 32. Look at card I. Okay, that was almost the wrong one. So I is, oh no, hold on, that's J. Oh, we've already got card I. Whoopsie, sorry about that. So let's just read this again. 32, so 32 is somewhere on this map. Where is it? 32 is over here. I'm just going to place this on next to 32 so we know that that's something that we want to go and investigate. Because we don't turn over a card or anything. Okay. Dragner took Angie, 32, flop house. Okay. Was that our second question? I guess so. So we haven't asked her about the postcard. I don't think I'm going to. So I think finding D might be important before we go to Dragner. So let's go down here to 91. That's one move. I don't know if I should have spent another one of these. And then I'm going to move here. That's another move. We're down to day 9. But we're at Angie's place. So Angie, we're going to ask Angie about Angie. 281. No, we're going to ask Angie about Angie. 274. Before we do that, let's search Angie's place, just in case he's hiding here, right? Angie, I didn't search her, probably for the wise. So we're searching number 92, place number 77. So our first action is a search location. 72, is that what I said? 92 equals 72, 77. Dusk glares at you while you go through her things, but she doesn't stop you. You get nothing for your trouble but a pissed off working gal. Searched 92, nothing. Okay, let's ask her about D. No, let's ask her about mugs. A. So we could search her, but let's ask Angie Dusk about A. 281. 281. Okay. I shouldn't be telling you this, but D, he gets to talking after we do the thing. He said that Mr. Dragner wanted to kill Charlie over the Long Beach incident. Go to turn over K. So K is, that's the wrong one. K is Jack Dragner put out a hit on Charlie. So Jack put out hit. And it was a German marksman that killed him, right? A German mercenary. Hit on Charlie. Okay, so that can go back up here. And what did we just do? We asked D about no, we asked Angie about A. Hit set by Jack. Do we push it? Do we think she's hiding anything else? Do we think he would have told her anything else? I don't think so, right? Why would she hide it? He's Dee's girlfriend, though. To challenge, go to 751. I mean, she seems quite genuine, right? She told us that he put out a hit. We think it's the best answer we're going to get from her. I doubt he spoke about the details of it. We could ask her about the hit to see if she knows anything else. Let's not do that. Let's ask her about D then. So D, we're asking Angie Dusk about D, which is 1093. Hold on. So we questioned her and now we're questioning her again. So we said that was 1093. 1093. D's been good to me. Pretty sure he's running security over the Riviera Club right now. It's 76. 76 is going to be behind these boards, is it? 78, 77, 79. Where's 76? 75? 76, Riviera Club. Found it. Okay. We'll tuck that there just to know that's somewhere else where we could go. Sorry about that. So Riviera Club is down here. We obviously know that this is up here. Okay. I don't know how long that camera's been the wrong way. I do apologise. Right. We've used 3 of our actions. I need to say that D being good to Angie. D at 76. Okay. Do we want to ask her about anything else? So Angie. Do we ask her about Jack? Do we ask her about Brenda? Let's ask her about the torn postcard. Let's ask her about I, that she used to be one of Brenda's top guys. So Angie I 70. Is that right? Angie I 70. You want some applause for throwing that in my face, big detective? Making the cool girl feel small and worthless? I mean, you moved to a different place where I assume you're getting paid better. That was a question. Do I challenge her? I'm going to challenge her. I'm getting ready to flip this over. 694. I don't know why I'm challenging her. I just feel like she's covering something up. I don't know what exactly. Feels like a bit of a waste, this one. 694. There's something in her voice that tells you she's hiding something. Brenda threw out that on account of that. Brenda threw me out on account of that rat Charlie and what he did to me. So I took my services over to Jack at 32. Girls gotta eat somehow. Look at H. Charlie Muggs and Angie were an item until he dumped her. Okay. Gain 1 leverage over Dusk. Hurrah! Okay, but that was all of our options for this turn. I was asking her about I, right? Charlie dumped her. Jack picked up for work. But then wasn't Brenda saying she rough with his girls? Okay. Well, let's move these. Did I move it down a day? I don't know. I'm going to have to quickly check. Bear with me. I did not. So we are down to day 8, and I'm not sure I've found much out. Do I want to ask Angie other questions? So I've asked Angie about... let's ask her about Jack, right? That makes sense. And we're going to use our leverage on her to ask her about Jack. So Jack Dragna, Angie Dusk is 541, and we're using our leverage, so we have to get rid of this straight away. What using leverage means is we can immediately read the paragraph and then go straight to the challenge without gaining stress. So we said Angie was asking about that 541. Dusk looks genuinely scared. Okay. Dee told me that Dragna wanted Charlie dead. Please don't tell anyone I talked to you. So, Jack wanted Charlie dead. Okay. Look at K. So we've got K already, and we want to go to 588 because we're challenging. See if she knows anything else. 588. Dusk. Let's just make sure I'm doing the right one. Dusk is genuinely scared, trying to 588. Dusk changes her tune when you demand to know more about Dragna. Mr. Dragna's a good man. He was kind enough to give me a job after that floozy Brenda threw me out. You can find me over at Frostanoia if you're ever in the neighbourhood, detective. Look at I. I've got I already. Gain 1 leverage over Dusk. Okay, great. So she said that Dusk put out a hit. She said that Dusk wanted to kill Charlie, but then when we push her, she says, Dragna's a good man. He was kind enough to give me a job after that floozy Brenda threw me out. Challenge. Jack's a good guy. I'm not sure what to make of that, in all honesty. Okay. Well, that was a question, right? Do we want to ask her about anything else? We could ask her about Brenda. Yeah, let's lose our leverage on Brenda then, right? Since we can. Let's move this down here. Why did her and Brenda have a falling out? That's the real question here. Angie asking Brenda 987. 987 is... Yeah, I used to turn tricks for Brenda, but I got a better gig over at Jack's outfit. Now I'm out at 37. We're challenging. We're going to 166. Again, we don't need to gain stress if there's nothing to challenge. You know there's more to that Dusk has to say about Alan, so you turn up the heat. That bitch threw me out when Charlie treated me like trash. I thought she'd support me, but no, she tossed me to the side like a 2-bit whore. She'll get what's coming to her one day, and I'll be there to watch. Look at H and I. We've got both of those, and gain 1 leverage over Angie. Okay. Brenda threw her out. Dislikes Brenda. Okay. Well. So the other things I can ask her about is I can ask her about herself. I feel like I've already done that. In fact, I have, right? Let's just check. I feel like I've done it. 274. I'm just going to look at the first sentence and see if I have seen it before. 274. Yeah, I think I'd already done it. If not, it's the same information that we already had. I mean, okay. So we've got 1 leverage over. We could ask her another question, but it's just wasting, and possibly just wasting time, because the things we could ask her about are K. Jack Dragner put out a hit on Charlie Muggs. We already know what she's told us, right? She told us that there was a hit, and then she told us that there wasn't a hit. Let's push her on it, because we've got the leverage. It's wasting time, but let's push her on it. So we are asking. You may already get the same answer, but we are asking Angie Dusk about K, which is 174. You know, because there's maybe some. Dee told me that Mr. Dragner was furious over that Dane getting killed down by the pier. That's the first case we did. Souring his drug business. He bailed Muggs out just so he could have him killed, and Dee was the one who was going to do it. Turn to 517. So this is us challenging again. Again, we've got the leverage, so we don't need to worry about it. I don't like ratting folks out, but I wasn't lying. Mr. Dragner told Dee to kill Charlie Muggs. Dee told me everything. Okay, so Dragner wanted Dee to kill Muggs. I mean, that seems huge, right? We've blown this case wide open. I think that was our last question. I'm not sure. I'm going to say it was our last question. We're down to 7, and we'll move these back up. We need to make sure I'm moving these before I do anything. So we're over here. I think we're done with Angie. We could go over to the Riviera Club, which is where we think Dee is. So let's start there. We're going to move. That's one action. We're going to search the location. Location is 76. 76 is 526. 526. DiCaprio standing in front of the club doing his best to look menacing. He groans when he sees you. Haven't you pricks got your fill of me yet? Place DiCaprio standees at 76. You can ask him questions. Great, we will. I didn't search her. I don't think there's any need to search her. Unless she had the other half of a postcard. You may ask him one free question. Great news. Should we go straight into it? Let's ask him about. No, we need some leverage, right? We need some leverage before we go into was there a hit put out? Let's ask him about A. Jack about. We're asking D about Charlie Muggs. 1074. This is a free question. 1074 is, may I be candid with you, Detective? Muggs has been a bit of a disappointment to me. Hold on, am I asking the right question? No, I'm reading the wrong one. Hold on. 234. Whoopsie, sorry about that. 234. 234. I didn't have much love for Charlie, that's for sure. A man can only take so much abuse, you know, but he screwed up killing that dame on the pier. Our outfit ain't exactly that forgiving. To challenge 1018. I mean, I don't know if there is a challenge here, because he did screw up. 1018. I'm about to gain some more stress. 1018. DiCaprio takes offence when you push him. Listen, I know I haven't always been on the up and up with you, Detective, but I'm telling it straight this time. Gain 1 stress. Okay. That didn't go as well as I hoped. Let's ask him about Jack. So we're asking 359. So question 359. Have any of you solved this yet? 359 is, he's the head of the Los Angeles family, but I'm sure you knew that, you flatfoot. Okay, good. 359 D, head of LA family. Don't think there's any need to push that. Didn't like Charlie after screw up. Okay, I've got one more question. I mean, I think we're going to ask him about all of these people. Let's ask him about D then. D is D. No, let's ask him about Brenda, sorry. 660. Here goes another day. 660 is... I ain't got enough scratch to afford the girls at Brenda's, that's for damn sure. 863. $863. Do I want a challenge? She says she didn't know him. He picked her up at Jack's probably, so I don't think I do want a challenge. I think we leave it there. So what was that? That was D about Brenda. Not enough money. Okay. Okay, one last question. One last question. Let's ask him about H. That Charlie and Angie were an item. So D, H, which is 814. Angie was pretty broken up about it. I spent a lot of time with her over at the Frostonia, and I don't think Charlie was her favourite person anymore. 467. Do we want to push it? Did he take any revenge because of it? I wonder. Here's what I wonder. I wonder if he attacked Angie. She told D about it. D was pissed off about it and went and killed Charlie, and now they're trying to pin it on Jack. I'm going to push him. What number were we on? 814. 467. This is us about to gain another stress. 467. DiCaprio bristles when you push him for info. I ain't lying about Angie, and I resent your accusations. Gain 1 stress. As soon as we get free stress, this goes here. No, this goes here. And that's it, I think. But then we move it down another 1 because we've finished a day. So we've lost a day's worth of questioning by pushing too much. These all get turned over. So we've got some opportunity to push people again. Angie didn't like Charlie. I feel like nobody likes Charlie. What else can we ask D about? We can ask him about himself. We can ask him about Angie. We can ask him about the torn postcard, the Luger shells. I guess we ask him about K. We've been putting it off. Let's ask him about K. This is the one we're likely to push. So D DiCaprio 964. Some little birdie's been telling you lies, detective. Don't believe everything, every fairy tale you hear. Challenge 644. We've got a challenge, right? You get in DiCaprio's face and demand the truth. He shrinks back from you, starts babbling. Who told you anyways? Was it Angie? If it wasn't her, if it wasn't that little rat? Was it Angie? It was her, wasn't it? That little rat. When I find her, he catches himself before finishing the sentence. I mean, when I find her, I'm going to treat her to a nice dinner. A real nice dinner. That's all I've got to say about that detective. Gain 1 leverage over DiCaprio. DiCaprio was lined up to kill Charlie. And we challenged. Okay. Do I search him? I think I search him. Let's search DiCaprio in case he's got the gun. 1012. 1012. Okay. You frisk D, but turns up nothing. Clean pig. Go look through some other wise guy's pockets for a change. Okay, nothing there. I do have some leverage on him. What could I ask him about? Angie. I could ask him about the torn postcode. I could ask him about the Luger shells. We've got no idea if the gun is his, but we should... I mean, everything is pointing to D killed him, right? There was a hit put out by Jack. D was lined up to do it. I mean, we are getting close to having to question Jack. Do we go to the Frostonia? I don't know. Do we go there? It's right next to where the murder happened, right? It's a good place to go and hide a weapon. I can't see anything else I desperately need to ask him about right now until we get the weapon. Then we can use the leverage. So I'm going to move to here. Guess I've got to move again up to here. That means we move down another day. These will go up here. Then I'm going to move one more time to 32. We're at location 32. We are going to search it. 32 equals space 92. I need to spend the time, so we'll do that when I find the paragraph. This goes down here to search location 92. Finally, after hours of searching, you hit the jackpot. It's a dusty closet. You find a Luger tucked inside a cabinet drawer. Someone clearly thought they had hidden it in a safe hiding place. Look at J. Okay. Luger. Murder weapon? Question mark. Okay. Gun at 32 Frostinoia, whatever it's called. Okay. There's nothing else for us to do here, but that seems huge, right? I mean, everything is pointing towards Jack put out a hit on Charlie. He got D to do it. D told Angie about it. What do we know about this postcard? That's the real question. Is it just a waste of space? It says it seemed important, but okay, we're gonna have to move. So we'll move over here, and then we'll move again, and we'll go over to Jack. That's the end of another day. We're down to 4 days. We've got until 1. Right. Jack, we're asking you some questions, buddy. Jackety Jack. It did tell us to be careful, so let's ask Jack about Jack to begin with. 122. 122. Jack, what you got to say for yourself? So we're asking a question. I don't have to answer your questions, detective. I'm a legitimate businessman, and go screw yourself. I mean, he hasn't given us the nicest answer there, right? So I just want to find something out about challenging, because he clearly didn't give us the best info, but I just want to know. Yeah, if we challenged that, we would have got a stress, and the reason I'm interested in it is because that's clearly a lie, right? Or it's not the nicest answer he could have, the best answer he could have given, but it's an answer that he's quite happy giving. And that's the bit I'm struggling with getting my head around. Is it when you know the answer isn't everything you want it to be, you can push them, or is it when you think he's holding out? So no info on that one. Let's ask him about Charlie Muggs. Charlie Muggs, 1074. 1074. May be candid with you, Detective. Muggs has been a bit of a disappointment to me, and I'm not shedding a lot of tears over his death. Read into that what you will. Happy he's dead. Should we push him? 388. We've got some stress. Let's do it. 388. I tell you the truth, and you come at me with accusations. If you're what passes as a detective these days, then I'm not impressed. Gain 1 stress. That was a question that we asked, or was that the second question? I'm going to mark it down as the third, although I'm not sure. Okay. Okay. Let's ask him about Angie as our last question. Angie. So asking Jack about Angie 787 is just going to say she's some hooker, right? What do I care? 787. Never heard of a detective. Come back when you have some actual questions. You're a liar. 697. 697. You've jogged my memory, Detective. Oh yes, I remember Angie. She was treated rather poorly by Brenda, and when she came to me looking for work, I was more than happy to oblige. Look at A, we've got that. Sorry, I, look at that. Gain 1 leverage. Perfect. Okay, that is another day done. We're at 3. Okay, we're going to question some more. Jack, we're going to question Jack about the Jack put out a hit, K, 1053. This could be the thing that breaks the case. 1053, here we go. And you got proof? Come to me with, put cuffs on me then, you dick. You'll make your career hauling me in. No, I don't think so. Come back when you've got some more baseless accusations. Until then, get the hell out of my face. I mean, we've pushed 2 people on it, but we don't have any evidence. So I'm guessing if we push this now... let's use our leverage to push it. Sorry, we should have done that anyway before. So what number were we on? We were asking Jack about K, which was 1053. That goes to 326. 326. Dragna calls his goons over. Accuse me again, Detective. I gain you. Gain 1 stress. We don't have to gain it because we were using a leverage, but now we know that he won't talk about it. Okay. I think we move. I mean, there's more things we could ask him, but I think we move down here, and then we move again to D. We use our leverage to ask D about J. J is 115, so we're asking D about the gun. 115. It ain't mine, but I've seen guns like that before. German officers carried them. I should know, seeing as I killed a bunch of them with my bare hands. Go to 950. D. 950. The lie is written all over DiCaprio's face, and he knows it. He caves under pressure. It's mine, But where the hell did you get it, detective? Think about it. It'd be nuts to kill anybody with that piece. How many other wise guys got one of these? 0. And how many didn't go to college? Sorry, and that's how many. I didn't go to college, but I ain't stupid. Gain 1 leverage over DiCaprio. So he's saying he didn't do it. Says he didn't shoot Charlie. Challenged. Okay, we've got one last question for the day. Or was that the last question? We asked him one, we moved twice. I think that was the last question. Let's bring this down to a 2 and we'll move this up. I may have lost some time that I shouldn't have lost, but I'd much rather we were doing it that way than the opposite way. Right. I can ask D some more questions. Do I ask him about the torn postcard? Is it just a red herring? I think it's between these two, right? I mean, we haven't asked anything about the shell casings. So what can we ask D? It's Charlie's. Says he didn't shoot. Okay. So either D shot Charlie because of what he'd done or because Dragna put a hit out on him, or D shot him because he was a dick using Charlie's gun. I'm guessing this hotel thing is it's going to be this hotel, right? So it's going to be what we know anyway. Okay, we move. We bring this down 1. We ask Angie about the Luger J. So we are asking Angie about J 656. Okay, 656. D showed me that. Showed me that. He said he was going to kill Charlie Muggs with it. His boss wanted it done over at the Horseshoe Pier business. Look at K. To challenge, go to 375. We're going to challenge. 375. You have to know everything. So you press dusk for more. She suddenly gets very cold, calculating, look in her eye. Charlie deserved to die, detective. She clams up after that and refuses to say more. Holy moly. D. No, Angie. She killed him. Right? She killed him. She killed him. What else is there? She killed him. Let's ask her about the postcode. We've got 2 time left here. Let's ask her about the postcode. Question F. So we're asking Angie about F. 43. Did we search her place? I think we did, yeah. She got angry when we looked through her drawers. 43. Kind of hard to tell, but that looks like the Beverly Hills Hotel 8 to me. Over here. I'm never going to get there in time. But let's use it as an example of... so we were here. Let's go here. Inglewood Cemetery. Inglewood. Right, this moves down and we have to put in a guess. So the way this works is we've got these 3 things at the back here, and on the back of the book we have numbers and items. So I'm going to be looking through here. We're going to say that the murderer was Angie Dusk, 442. So we're saying it's E, Dusk. And the number for Angie Dusk is 442. Good formation. Right. Then we're saying the murder weapon was J, which is 190. J, Luger, 190. Then we're saying the motive is, I think we're going to say the motive is revenge, 275. I find the motive to be the hardest bit. I wonder if more than one of these motives match, and therefore it'll give you the final number. So we get to now go to the book. We have to add these things up. I'm just going to get my calculator, just in case. My maths isn't great, and the last thing I want to do is type in the wrong number and think we failed when we passed, or vice versa. So we are saying 442, which was Angie Dusk, plus the Luger, which was J, which is 190, plus, hold on a second, 190, oh, hold on a second, 190 plus, I kept putting a decimal place, plus 190, and then we're saying it's revenge, which is 275. 907. So, are we anywhere nearer solving this case? 907. The captain invites you into his office. Congratulations, detectives, you've done it. You've solved the case and brought that low-life's killer to justice. You've successfully solved Murder at Sunset. Whoops, that was my phone. Turn to page 9 in the Chisel case book and read the epilogue. Now, we don't have to do that because we've got the app that will read it for us. And again, I apologise for the background noise. If when I listen to this, if it's difficult to hear, I will change to me reading it. Not that I think that's wise. Right, here we go. Murder at Sunset. 4 minutes. Here we go.
Angie Dusk was in love with Charlie Muggs. She'd always had a thing for bad guys, and Charlie was as bad as they came. She was working out of Brenda Allen's whorehouse when he caught her eye. The rest, as they say, history. Charlie had been called up by Jack Dragna to begin expanding the Mafia's drug business into Long Beach, but he soon became obsessed with building his own empire and began spending less and less time with Angie. The less she saw of him, the more desperate she became, until one day, Muggs had had enough. He walked out and threatened to kill her if she ever bothered him again. Devastated, she began seeing Dee DiCaprio instead. He was a poor replacement for Charlie, but Dee wasn't complaining. The ladies rarely paid him any attention, so becoming the main squeeze of one of Brenda's top dames was a big step up for him. Charlie had been one of Dragna's most promising capos, but his handling of the Sally Foote situation had deeply disappointed the seasoned crime boss. Muggs was a liability, and his usefulness had come to an end. Dragna made sure that Muggs made bail, and then he quietly instructed Dee DiCaprio to execute him. Angie, who was becoming increasingly unhinged, was working out of Brenda's one night when Charlie waltzed through the door and went up to another girl, ignoring her completely. Angie marched into Brenda's office and demanded that she throw Muggs out. Brenda had no great love for Charlie Muggs, but she wasn't about to throw out a paying customer on account of a prostitute's bruised ego. When she refused, Angie lost it and began breaking anything she could get her hands on. That simply wouldn't do. When the high and mighty came to Brenda Allen's, they weren't looking to spend top dollar on crazy. She had Angie thrown out.
Never come back, whore,
Brenda said and slammed the door in Angie's face. Angie knew that Jack Dragna had just opened up a competing outfit at the Frostania Hotel, so she went to him. Jack, more than happy to take one of Brenda's best girls away, quickly put her to work. Angie's anger at Charlie, however, deepened into a seething, all-consuming hatred. Dee, who had been bouncing back and forth between Angie and another woman named Janice, spent the night with Angie and let slip that he was supposed to take out Muggs himself on Dragna's orders. This just infuriated Angie more. When Charlie died, she needed it to be over what he had done to her, not over some inconsequential mobster spat. So, while Dee was sleeping, she took the Luger that he was constantly fawning over, the one he'd brought back with him from the war, and headed back to Brenda's. It wasn't long before Charlie came out of the front door, a self-satisfied smile plastered all over his face. He thought the world belonged to him, and that he could do whatever he wanted to whomever he wanted and never have to pay the price.
Charlie!
Angie called to him from the dark alleyway. He peered in, startled but not afraid of the female voice.
Angie, that you? What the hell are you doing down there in the trash? Finally found where you belong, that it?
His laughter was cut short as Angie dumped the Luger's entire clip into him. She spit on his twitching body as she left.
Rotten hell, you piece of garbage.
Charlie Muggs was dead, and everything was finally right with the world. Well, mostly right. What Brenda had done to her, well, that couldn't stand. You didn't mess with Angie Dusk and get away with it. She decided to hold on to the gun, stashing it in an unused custodial closet at the Frostania. Brenda would get her due. Ah, yes. Yes, she would.
Well, look, there we go. The case is closed, and somehow we did it in the first run. I was really bad at this in the practice run that you can see over on Patreon, doing the first case, but quite enjoyed it. It's after playing lots of Dragon Eclipse, it's not quite to the same kind of area as where I was enjoying that. We'll do a couple more, I think, if you want to keep seeing it. Let me know where you and if you solved it. And if not, let me know kind of what your thoughts are on the game. If you played the game, let me know that as well. If you've got any expansions, I'd love to know that. There's about 7 more cases to go, and they get more complicated. But that was quite interesting. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe button. If you want to see more of this Detective City of Angels, please leave a like, leave a comment saying you want to see more. That really does help me figure out what to be recording for you. And I'll see you again soon. Thank you.